Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man. The fault.
We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
The Iran deal was one of the worst and most one-sided transactions the United States has ever entered into. Frankly, that deal is an embarrassment to the United States, and I don't think you've heard the last of it, believe me. It is time for the entire world to join us in demanding that Iran's government end its pursuit of death and destruction. It is time for the regime to free all Americans and citizens of other nations that they have unjustly detained. And above all, Iran's government must stop supporting terrorists, begin serving its own people, and respect the sovereign rights of its neighbors. The entire world understands that the good people of Iran want change. And other than the vast military power of the United States, that Iran's people are what their leaders fear the most.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Hi. Sorry to start off with a reminder that he is our president, and the whole world knows it. It's so humiliating. It's more humiliating than anything Comcast could ever do to us. But it's the internet is blazing fast today. Thank you, Comcast. Or not. Thank you. Now, I know the date seems to be wrong on the YouTube. It seems to be yesterday's date. Of course, this show is live. It is the 19th of September. Poor Mexico City. The apocalypse is upon. I don't even know how to approach this. I mean, we got Hurricane Maria, which is barreling toward Puerto Rico as a Category 5 hurricane that is catastrophic, hitting, some of the Irma already battered islands. I don't even think we should talk about, climate change. I think we should talk about climate changed. It's done. We're there. Now it's just a question of, can we adapt? I mean, this is unbelievable. Do you feel the global warmth yet? Does everybody feel the global warmth? I feel the global. I mean, everything between Georgia and Grenada now is going to end up being like a permanent punching bag for endless apocalyptic, catastrophic, events. This is unbelievable. And Mexico City, not that this has anything to do with global warming, but another 7.1 earthquake. This one, right in the middle of 75 miles from Mexico City. Very shallow earthquakes, shallow ones cause the most damage. I mean, this is just unbelievable. We're ready to open the first seal. Everybody, are you ready? Where is the lamb? We need the lamb to open a seal number 1. I mean, we're all getting ready here for the countdown to the rapture. I mean, we know the end times are upon us. We feel it. We know it. We see it. We I can smell it. Or is that black mold? Is that one of the plagues? No, it's fine. But it's been remediated. But honest to God, I can't even explain to you how we're all preparing here. In fact, we have like this little, we have a team thing going now where we all decided that we would wear cute shoes every day. Because, at the end of the end times, the rapture will occur and it will lift us all out of our shoes. And that will be all that's left to remember us by. So I have the cutest shoes. I went for 3-inch heels today. I mean, I could have done the 4. But I'm not ready yet because the first seal hasn't been open. But as we progress through the end days into the rapture, now, of course, I'm a chosen person. So I don't have to do any of this, okay? I'll do it, in an empathy. And Scotty, he's part of my tribe. Brett, I don't know where Brett falls. Where do you fall on the scale? Are you chosen or are you unchosen?
Confused and scared.
Are you circumcised?
That's a whole nother website, Randy.
Oh. All right. Well, Ted Cruz can retweet that website as soon as we send out that photo, and Anthony Weiner can comment and forge some sort of a relationship with you because he's chosen. He doesn't have to be busy with the end time. No, I'm saying this is like really apocalyptic. We had a call from a woman who I cannot get off my mind. Remember before the hurricane, before Irma actually came here, we had a woman in the Virgin Islands who called us, and she said she was going to stay there. She was in a concrete house. Remember? This woman is on my mind. She has been on my mind for like the past 2 weeks or however long it's been. It just seems like forever. It seems like forever that we've been in the dark. It seems like forever we haven't had, And yesterday we were able to Periscope something because we finally had some cell service. That was a break. That was fun. So instead of, best of shows, we decided to Periscope. I gave everybody a tour of our little studio here so you could see I'm not working in my basement. Everybody understands now. We're in a commerce park, and behind me is a parking lot. Okay. But I just, you used to go to places like the Virgin Islands. You used to go to Barbados to get away. And now you have to get away from Barbados and the Virgin Islands. It's unfreaking believable. And of course, we know it's the end times because the Antichrist is our president. And he demonstrated that today at the United Nations. Now, he talked about how embarrassing this Iranian deal is. However, I must tell you that the rest of the world, who also made this multilateral agreement with Iran, all agree that Iran is in compliance. So what the hell was he talking about? He was an embarrassment today. He just wanted to go out there and be apocalyptic because I guess he feels it too. Not that he'll tell you. But Rouhani was interviewed by Lester Holt. This hasn't aired yet. It will air over the weekend. Here's a little preview. Because Lester Holt asked him, what the hell? The whole world says you're in compliance. What will you think if the United States suddenly starts bombing you for noncompliance? And he said, quite frankly, the world will never trust the United States or take it at its word ever again. And right now, you're kind of on it. Now, when Iran has the high ground, you know that we've gone so low with this president that Iran can have the high ground. Anybody, Kim Jong-un's starting to look a little bit disciplined. Do you know what I'm saying?
You made headlines yesterday by saying the United States will pay a high price if it withdraws from the nuclear agreement. Some might hear a threat in those words. Do you care to clarify what you mean by a high price?
In a multilateral agreement, which has received the support of the United Nations Security Council, and the core of it is a non-proliferation matter, the exiting of the United States from such an agreement would carry a high cost, meaning that subsequent to such a probable action by the United States of America, no one will trust America again. And there is no higher price to be paid than this, because after such a possible scenario, which country would be willing to sit across the table from the United States of America and talk about international issues? Because the JCPOA was obtained after over 2 years of negotiations and dialogues that included sessions over every single word contained in that agreement.
Okay, so let's just shorthand what he said. It doesn't really matter what Trump says because he'll change his mind tomorrow. But nobody trusts this man because here you have Iran that is, by all accounts, the entire world, the weapons inspectors, the UN, weapons inspectors, the Atomic Energy Agency, the entire globe has inspections in Iran. And the whole world agrees, just like before Iraq. And, if you didn't want to empower Iran, why did we give them Iraq? Yeah, we did do that. We did. The big winner of the Iraq war was Iran. But anyway, that said, I mean, everybody's in there, just like Scott Ritter was in there, head of Iraq, and you had Hans Blix from the from the UN Atomic Energy. They're all doing inspections in Iran, and the whole world agrees that they are in compliance. This president just loves talking tough. He likes pretending that he's some big man on that the whole world fears, and that takes him seriously. And the unbelievable part of this is nobody takes him seriously. And today, I mean, this crap with Kim Jong-un. I mean, he said he would totally destroy North Korea It couldn't have been worse if Trump took off his shoe and pounded it on the table like Nikita Khrushchev. I mean, he walks like a Russian. He talks like a Russian. He acts like a Russian. Maybe he's Russian and not from Scotland.
No one has shown more contempt for other nations and for the well-being of their own people than the depraved regime in North Korea. It is responsible for the starvation deaths of millions of North Koreans and for the imprisonment, torture, killing, and oppression of countless more. We were all witness to the regime's deadly abuse when an innocent American college student, Otto Warmbier, was returned to America only to die a few days later. We saw it in the assassination of the dictator's brother using banned nerve agents in an international airport. We know it kidnapped a sweet 13-year-old Japanese girl from a beach in her own country to enslave her as a language tutor for North Korea's spies. If this is not twisted enough, now North Korea's reckless pursuit of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles threatens the entire world with unthinkable loss of human life. It is an outrage that some nations would not only trade with such a regime, but would arm, supply, and financially support a country that imperils the world with nuclear conflict. The United States has great strength and patience. But if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime. The United States is ready, willing, and able, but hopefully this will not be necessary. That's what the United Nations is all about.
You know, he looks like a half-wit reading remarks prepared by somebody else, and they were by Stephen Miller, the, isolationist, racist. And that's the absolute best we can hope for. But he's latched on to this Rocket Man thing, this Rocket Man. I don't know. I mean, so is Kim Jong-un the tiny dancer? I mean, Steve Bannon is razor face. And then he goes on and he attacks Venezuela. He literally, I swear to God, he wasn't done. He went after Venezuela, who I'm guessing is Honky Cat. Thank you.
We have also imposed tough, calibrated sanctions on the socialist Maduro regime in Venezuela, which has brought a once thriving nation to the brink of total collapse. The socialist dictatorship of Nicolas Maduro has inflicted terrible pain and suffering on the good people of that country. This corrupt regime destroyed a prosperous nation by imposing a failed ideology that has produced poverty and misery everywhere it has been tried. To make matters worse, Maduro has defied his own people, stealing power from their elected representatives to preserve his disastrous rule. The Venezuelan people are starving, and their country is collapsing. Their democratic institutions are being destroyed. This situation is completely unacceptable, and we cannot stand by and watch. As a responsible neighbor and friend, we and all others have a goal. That goal is to help them regain their freedom, recover their country, and restore their democracy.
Oh my God, talk about interventionist foreign policy. Whatever happened to MAGA? Whatever happened, peppy people? Pepe! Whatever happened to, America First? He gave lip service to, America First. But every nation you could possibly think of that is, a nation that is, not a real democracy, he threatened. Every single one of them. He threatened. I mean,
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them.
whoever it was that he was speaking about, they need to be bombed. North Korea needs to be bombed because he's a rocket man with a suicide mission. Honky cat in Venezuela's got to go. We got to do regime change there. You know what? Iran, you got to bomb the crap out of Iran. Can I just say this? If Trump would stick to attacking Rosie O'Donnell as much as she is my friend, we could all breathe.
RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.